Hi guys, in this video I'm going to talk about enemy flipping. Okay, in the previous video we said this like the enemy goes right and he goes out of the ground. So what we're gonna do instead, we're gonna flip the character around the ground. Okay, so we're gonna shoot out a ray in front of the enemy. Okay, enemy over here, what you have to do, right click on that enemy. Okay, create a empty child object and drag it in front of enemy. Okay, we're gonna shoot out a ray, okay, from this point, from this checkpoint. If this ray collide with nothing over here, as you can see, it will collide with nothing. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna flip the character. Okay, firstly we're gonna assign this ground to as a ground layer. Okay, for layer mask. Okay, we will assign this ground to as a ground layer for layer mask. So what you have to do, just select the ground game object, go to layer. Okay, under there add layer and name that to ground. Okay, name that to ground and head back to again to the ground and find the ground and select that. Okay, for layer mask we will set. So we need to open up the enemy script once more. Okay, we have to open up the enemy script once more. What we're gonna do, we're gonna shoot out a ray from this position, which will check the ground layer. If this ray not colliding with ground layer, we gonna, what we gonna do, in the y direction we're gonna flip to 180 degree. Okay, 180 degree. And over here, if this ray collide with nothing, we're gonna set again to 0. Okay, as you can see. So what we have to do, so we need this position and we also need the layer mask and the distance of the ray. So what we have to do, we need to assign four things. Firstly, layer mask. So layer marks, as a layer mask we will check the ground layer. Okay, ground layer. And also we need the position from where we want to shoot out the ray. We so transform. Okay, we will call checkpoint. Okay, we will call this one checkpoint. Okay, checkpoint. And we also need the length of the ray. Okay, float, we will call this one distance. Okay, distance. By default I am going to set this to 1 unit. In the update function we're gonna check that, because we have to check each frame if we are colliding, if the ray is colliding with or not. Okay, we have to use this function physics 2d. Okay, physics 2d, physics 2d. Okay, physics 2d dot raycast. Okay, this function will take four arguments. Firstly, it will take where from you want to shoot out the ray, and the second thing is the direction, in which direction you want to shoot out the ray, and the third thing is the distance of the ray, and the fourth thing is the layer mask, which layer will detect this ray. Okay, so we're gonna pass this checkpoint, or checkpoint dot position as the position. We will shoot out in the down direction, so we have to use vector2 dot down. And we also have to pass the distance of the length of the ray. Okay, and the ground layer as a layer mask. Okay, so this will be true or false. Okay, if this happen, if the ray, okay, colliding with our ground layer. Okay, so this function will be true. If this ray not colliding with our ground layer, okay, so this will be false. So we have to put this onto a ray cast. Okay, ray cast hit 2d. Okay, ray cast, sorry, I misspelled. Okay, raycast hit, we have to pass 2d. We will call this hit info, or hit. Okay, equal to this. So over here, hit info will be true or false. If this ray colliding with our ground layer, then it will be true, so hit info will be true. Okay, we are putting it into this. So if, okay, we're gonna check if hit info is true. Okay, hit info equals true. Okay, hit info equals true, sorry. true, or just hit info means true. Okay, hit info. If this is the case, means we are colliding with the our ground layer. Okay, so what we gonna do, we gonna firstly check. Okay, debug.log, we will print out the name. Okay, trans it we going to hit info. Okay, then collider. Okay, collider dot transform. Okay, dot name. So what we are doing over here, if this ray colliding with our ground layer, okay, so this hit info will be true. If this hit info is true, means we are colliding with our ground layer. So whatever we colliding with, we going to that game object collider. Okay, then going to transform component of that collider, and then printing out the name. Okay, so we just doing this. Okay, control s on your keyboard and head back to unity. Over as a ground layer, select the ground. Okay, as a ground layer, select the ground. Okay, and just drag the point from where you want to shoot out the ray. So as shoot out the ray, as you can see, you can able to see this ray. Okay, see this ray. To see what you have to do, you have to use on draw gizmo selected function. Okay, over here, you have to write gizmos, then draw ray. Okay, draw ray, it will take where from you want to shoot out the ray. Okay, we want to shoot out the ray. Checkpoint dot position, and in which direction you want to shoot out. Okay, we want to shoot out in the down direction, and we have to multiply this our distance. Okay, distance means our ray length. Okay, control s on your keyboard and head back to unity. You will able to see a white ray going down. Okay, if this ray colliding with our ground layer. Okay, ground layer, as you can see, we assign it. If this colliding, so we just printing out the name what we colliding. We going to that collider. Okay, what we hitting, and then going to transform and then printing out the name. So as you can see, we will able to see tile map, as you can see. So we going to this game object transform. Okay, firstly we are going to collider. Okay, then transform and then printing out the name. So as you can see over here. Okay, so what we gonna do, over as you can see, it's if this ray not colliding with anything, so this hit info, this hit info will be false. Okay, this hit info will be false. Firstly, like, create a bool. Okay, means for which direction we are looking. We are facing to the right direction, right? We will keep track of which direction we are looking. Okay, so what we have to do over here, we have to create a bool. Make that private. Okay, instead of public, I am just making public for explanation. Okay, public bool, I will make bool facing right. Okay, facing right. By default, I am going to set it true, because we are facing right. Okay, we are facing right. And if we are facing right, and if this not colliding with, if this ray not colliding with our ground layer, what are we gonna do, we're gonna flip the character in the 180 degree. Okay, oh, so as you can see. Okay, over here, if I select the enemy. Okay, over here, as you can see, we are not colliding with ground layer, and we are facing right. So what we going to do, we're gonna flip the enemy. Firstly, we have to come over here. We will call this one false. If hit info equals false, means this ray not colliding with our ground layer. And 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 if we are facing right. Okay, if facing right. Okay, if facing right is true. Okay, uh, over here, as you can see, this ray not colliding with our ground layer, and we are facing right. So what we gonna do, we're going to Euler angles of this in the y direction. We're gonna set to 180 degree. Okay, so 180 degree. So what we gonna do, we go to transform. Okay, transform dot sorry transform dot Euler angles. Okay, we're going to set to new vector 3. Okay, 0 comma minus 180, sorry, minus 180 comma 0. So we are just flipping in the 180 degree. Okay, 180 degree, and we are no longer facing right. As you can see, if we set this to 180 degree, we are no longer facing right. What we gonna do, we're gonna after that we're gonna set facing right to false, because we are no longer facing sorry, true, not true, this will be false. Okay, uh, so we are not so we are facing right, setting to false, because we are no longer looking in the right direction. Else else if, okay, else else if we are facing left, and if else if we are not else what over here, as if I just select 180 degree. Okay, 180 degree, over here, as you can see, if we are not if this ray not colliding with our ground layer. Okay, ground layer, and we are facing right is false. Okay, what we gonna do, we're gonna again going to set the set to 0, so it will flip, and we're gonna set the facing right to true again, so it will go like this. Okay, so what we gonna do, else, okay, is else transform dot Euler angles. Okay, we will set to new vector 3, vector 3 0 comma 0 comma 0. Okay, normal position, and we gonna set facing right to true. Okay, because we are no longer facing left. Okay, over here. Okay, so if I control S on your keyboard to save this, and you will able to see that. So if we play now, okay, if we play now, you will able to see that the enemy just patrolling around the ground layer. Whenever the ray not colliding with the ground layer, it will flip. As you can see, whenever this ray not colliding with our ground layer, the character get flip, and we are making over here, as you can see, facing rights becomes true, because we are facing, and whenever we facing left, the facing right becomes false, and we are setting to the 0 0, means in the normal direction. That is in the video. If you have any question, just comment below, and if you have any doubt, if you didn't understand, just comment below. I will definitely gonna make a video about explanation in depth of this game development. Okay, or this enemy patrolling him around in the ground. Okay, so thanks for watching lastly, and if you are new to my channel, then subscribe it to get more about game development tutorials. Okay, and lastly, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, just like this, and lastly, thanks for watching. Okay, bye bye.